Good evening, all. Just been reviewing various clients' weekly check ins and looking at some of the nutrition logs. And I just thought, as there was a lot of common observations across many clients, I thought I would share a group broadcast here. So, one of the things I want to focus on here, more so for the newer clients, the ones who have been working with me for a while will not find this anything new. So when we first signed up and started working together, we went for the big hitters, the things that are going to get you immediate results, and you'll notice big changes very fast. So looking at that now, so you'll notice the first month or whatever, you'll see massive changes, and then things do start to slow down slightly. So what I'm just going to discuss here is to continue making that steady progress is just how we can look at fine tuning them. So starting off stage one, really the first month to 3 months for some people first month, and others have already implemented this a long time ago and they're on a different journey. So what we looked on mostly was increasing the protein intake. So with varied results over the last month. So we have some of you who are struggling to meet the 1 gram per pound of body weight. There's others who are nailing the 1.5 gram per pound of body weight, and there's a lot of variety in between, people who are struggling to get that. So that was basically just focused on any protein, whether it was you're from animal, seafoods, or your plant-based. It was just about getting the protein in, about using protein shakes where we can and things. So it was a pretty loose, although there was guidance in the welcome pack, it was quite a loose, let's just meet the protein targets, which is good. And what I have noticed though is there's a lot of people who maybe are holding back on the protein as well, because the protein choices that they are choosing is meaning that they're high fat or they are not single ingredient protein sources. So you maybe like breaded chicken would be a good example, which is maybe putting you over your carbohydrates and is making your fats go up if it's got like some butter and things inside it, like a chicken Kiev, or if you're picking really high fatty meat sources or fish sources and your fats are going way out of limits and you've not met your protein yet. So so for the people that's got that as well, it's probably about trying to find a balance where you're getting the healthy fats from a lot of your meats and your fish, but when you are getting close to that high fat or your carbohydrates are going up, we're going to have to look back at looking for leaner options and looking at basically getting back to really trying to hit that protein and not so much fats and carbohydrates. So easy ways to do that is focusing on things like chicken breasts instead of legs or thighs or wings and things like that. Salmon's quite high in fat, very good protein source as well, but that might not be the best option if you're going way over and above your healthy fats or any of your fats. Same with mackerel, very oily fatty fish. Maybe better looking for some leaner fishes for some of your meals if that's what you prefer. You've also got things like prawns, lobster if you can afford it. So there is other options there. You do have your white fish as well, and you have things like lean pork, lean beef. If you've been eating things like ribeye, sirloin with the fat on and eating the fat, maybe look at removing the fat. I'm not trying to demonize fat here. It's just for some of you, the fat targets are being exceeded, but the protein are not. Also, the fat will fill you up really quickly as well. So, Yeah, so that's one thing to look at. And then we went for tracking the daily steps. So most people are getting their minimum 10,000 steps a day. There is the odd day where some people are not. This again is a minimum. For some people that are doing more intense workouts or things, there is a bit of give and take there, but I think it's a very easy target for many people to meet. For the people who aren't meeting it, it'd be good to get some feedback. Why? Obviously, I'll touch base with. I'm going to touch base with each one of you individually. I've just seen some common trends here. So, what I did find has worked for many people who are meeting these consistently is either setting a reminder on your watch that if you've not moved, it will go into alarm, or if you're spending a lot of time on social media, watching YouTube, watching, like whatever seasons or things. I don't watch TV, so I can't remember what the names are. Watching movies and things like that. If you're doing that on your own, and it's not part of your socialising with family or friends or things, you can do that on your phone. So one of the things I was doing when I was trying to get 20,000 steps when I was working, it was quite a lot. So I was taking my phone and I was doing my social media engagement while I was on my while I was doing steps. So I was out walking and just catching up on social media. So I was doing two things at once. Same if you have studying or if you have business calls or things to do. There's no harm getting a decent headset and going out for a walk and just doing these calls when you're out walking. That's things that have worked for many clients and also worked well for myself. Drinking 2.5 litres of water a day. So I see a bit mixed sort of bag with this. So some people are nailing this, some people are not. So hydration is massive. So that's in the stage 1 immediate results, because there is a huge impact on water. Is almost like fuels everything in your body. It boosts your metabolism temporarily by up to 30% if you are properly hydrated throughout the day. So yeah, that is key. So if you are not meeting these targets, one thing I would recommend, I've actually fallen into this category a couple of times when I've been so busy I've just forgot to drink water. So what I'd done is I got myself 2.5 litre bottle from Amazon. It costs £10, made out of stainless steel as well, so it doesn't smell. It keeps the water nice and cool as well. Actually, it's quite good. And I basically just make sure I fill it up every morning, and I have my aloe vera in that as well, which helps with digestion and hydration. And I make sure that's drank every single day. And 2.5 litres is just somewhere in the middle of what the recommended amounts are. So what I would recommend for people who are maybe drinking a lot less than that, it does take a little bit of you need to be able to take a little bit of personal accountability for this. So this might seem really simple to some people. To other people, they might not want to really speak about this, but regardless of how much water you're drinking, if you go to the toilet, let's just make sure that your urine is not dark. Make sure that it is quite clear with slight tint of yellow, and you want it like that from morning to night. You don't want to be waking up in the morning and you've got really dark pee, and then you go to bed at night time and it's still really quite dark, or even if it's getting lighter by the end of the day. This tells you that maybe you could be having water beside your bed. And what you will find as well, you'll sleep a lot better if you're hydrated. If you wake up through the night and have a couple of drinks of water, you'll wake up feeling much better in the morning, which also then results in better workout performance, better energy throughout the day. Everything all ties together. All this immediate result stuff, all this basic stuff. I've not put sleep in there because sleep is something that I have a big module on that I want to cover in greater detail. So yeah, so let's get the hydration dialed in. And yeah, so basic workout routine. So There is a mixture of people who aren't even actually using the gym just now and seeing great results. Personally, I would prefer everyone use the gym, and I understand why some people can't because of work commitments. And I'm not meaning work commitments where somebody just says they're a little bit busy working 40 hours a week. There is some people here who are working ridiculous hours and probably doing a lot of exercise just by doing their manual work as it is. So yeah, everyone's got their own personal reasons why they are using the gym and they aren't. So most people who are using the gym are nailing these workouts. They seem to be doing really good. Just with the form check and things like that, it's really important that we're using proper form. And, you know, all the workouts that I've given out so far to everyone in the latest intake of clients have really focused on return on investment at times. So we're really maximising volume and frequency across the week. And then obviously I'm not face-to-face personal trainer for most of you. So really, initially we don't really chase this too much, but the intensity and load needs to progress over time as well. So let's get the form right though and get the weights so we know what weights are good. We'll do that for a few weeks as well just to make sure it's consistent and we have a good starting point. But yeah, once you're comfortable with that, we need to be looking at increasing the load and intensity and progressing. I like to do 1 week where I go up in weight. The following week I do that weight again, unless it's not enough, like very obviously not enough. And then if that's consistent for the second week, then the third week I will put the weight up. And if you're going up 1 kilogram, even 1 kilogram every week for a year is 52 kilograms. That is massive. It's unrealistic and people can't maintain that forever. So as long as there's some sort of form of progression, whether it's load, intensity, reps, something's going up most weeks. And if it's not and you feel like you're really struggling and things are going backwards, again, part of this food feedback loop that Will spoke about at the welcome pack is I need to know about that. So I need to know. So obviously everyone's tracking their daily habits, which looking at sleep, recovery, all your energy and things. But if you feel that you can't progress week in, week out, we probably need to be looking at your rest, recovery, your nutrition. Maybe there is a very, very small percentage of people who do actually overtrain, are pushing things to the limit a little bit too much, and that might be not just because of the gym, but they might also be doing work and various other things. So yeah, that's one thing with the workouts. We're not going to touch on that too much just now because most of these with progression are set up pretty well already. And we started with manageable goals. So every single person has made massive changes over the last few weeks, some of you over the last year or two, and even some of you are making unbelievable progress in 10 days. So you'll probably start to see now that your confidence has grown slightly and you will start to believe, especially for the newer ones, that your goals are starting to become more of a reality now, and also know that can be really motivating. One thing to bear in mind here, and we've all been through this a number of times, not just myself, probably experienced it in life, you will see the first couple of months you'll see massive changes, and then after that we're fine-tuning. I really need the feedback to make sure we continue to make progress all the time, and the more data I have, the more I can adjust to keep helping you. If I don't have that feedback loop, it is really difficult for me to help you keep progressing. So let's keep the momentum going with that. So far everyone's actually doing really well with that. So that's the immediate result stuff, but the immediate result stuff is just scratching the surface. There is so many more stages that can be implemented. So on to stage 2 for the people who are nailing the immediate results stuff. The next thing I want people really to look at. So we touched on hydration when we were speaking about immediate results. Same with the protein, making sure that if you are struggling with going over your fats or carbs, that you're not eating things like chicken nuggets and things that are breaded chicken that's putting you over on the other two, because there's so much better options out there. Healthy fats. So healthy fats is such a good macronutrient. It has so much benefits for your hormones, hair, skin, cardiovascular health. We've touched on them, a lot of them in the welcome pack. But one of the really good things for weight loss is if you combine healthy fats, or fats in general, but let's speak about healthy fats, with carbohydrates and protein in a balanced meal. The healthy fats slow the digestion of the carbohydrates, and also healthy fats obviously take a lot of calories to digest as well. So when they slow the digestion of the carbohydrates, it stops the carbohydrates being able to spike your blood sugar levels, which stops the insulin being released, which then, as most of you maybe know by now, that insulin is the transport hormone, which transports your nutrition from your which transports your nutrition into your fat storage or your muscles. And the reason I'm focusing on them two is because insulin is very anabolic, so it can be very good for building muscle, but also it's very bad for putting on a lot of fat. So we want to be keeping the blood sugar levels pretty stable most of the week. For all of the fat loss people, and for others who have not really solely focused on fat loss, we want to be looking at spiking blood sugars around workout time, which, if you are in that category, it will be part of your nutrition plan. So, yeah. So healthy fats. So not just that. So that was just a bit of a rundown of why we really focus on them. Male and female as well. It's a massive thing for supporting your hormones. So, and hormones have a massive impact on everything we do. The other thing about healthy fats is obviously you get so many different types of fats. Everyone now, as part of the immediate results, has got macro targets that have been focusing on fats. As part of the welcome pack, I have explained the type of fats I prefer people to choose. I know initially it's a lot to take on. So just a reminder that we are hoping, or we should be now aiming to fine tune the diet and looking at things like try to get our fats from. So if you go for your protein sources that are not really high in fats, unless it's healthy fats like salmon and things, then we want to be looking at picking fat sources that are healthy fats. So looking at avocados, nuts, olive oil, and then we've mentioned salmon there as well. If you go for protein sources that are packed full of not so healthy fats, like really high in saturated fats and things, then you've taken up all that macronutrient target of your fats and filled up full of bad fats. Whereas if we're smarter with our protein and carbohydrate choices, when we go to the fats, we are picking which fats we eat, and we're obviously going for avocados, nuts, olive oils and things like that. So let's see a little bit more focus on that. Again, with any of these things, if you don't understand, we speak most days, so just ask me. You will find in the app as well, there's a vault, and within the vault there is multiple ebooks on nutrition that you can read through them. It'd be good if you read through them anyway, just for your own education, because part of this here is not just about me trying to help you or always guiding you to do everything. If you can educate yourself, even with the basic things, it allows you so much more freedom in your choice and allows you to be a lot more flexible with your diet, because you understand then, what you should be eating. It does help a lot. I'm not saying we need you to be educated to a nutritionist level, but it is much more enjoyable eating these foods when they are actually when you're choosing the foods that you want rather than just what I guide you to eat. So carbohydrates, to me, carbohydrates is one of the lowest priority foods. It should be. What you'll find is people who are generally in great shape already, and people say, oh, he's got a high metabolism or great genes or whatever. Actually, from my experience, these people, when I analyse their diet, they normally prioritise protein, then healthy fats, then look at their micronutrients, and carbs are something that they eat just to get more energy for performance and things, and they also eat a lot higher fibre carbs. If you look at somebody who has got a poor body composition, it's normally the complete opposite. They will still eat protein, but it's normally not the best options. So with the carbohydrates here, we really want to focus on the glycemic index. So in the nutrition guides in the vault, there's a lot of tables that show people what the glycemic index is, and we want to be aiming for the medium to low ones there. And the reason for that is they don't spike your blood sugar so much, and they're generally high in fibre, which has a lot of benefits as well for maintaining steady blood sugar levels. So too much sugar will spike your insulin levels and will make you fat, obviously with a calorie surplus. And what you'll find as well, if you find you're somebody that's crashing throughout the day, struggling with energy and various other things, then it might be that you're eating high glycemic index carbohydrates all the time. Your energy levels are spiking and then they're crashing off at the end. So you maybe get a really fast digestion of 1 hour, and by like 2 to 3 hours, you've got all them carbs are gone, and you will be looking for more high glycemic index carbs to repeat that cycle again, digging a bigger hole and wasting away all your energy. We don't want that. With the high fiber, lower glycemic index carbs, you will get a steady increase in energy, and you will feel full for most of the day. You'll feel a lot healthier. It's a lot nicer on your gut, a lot better for your digestion. So let's have a little bit more focus on that. So the glycemic index as well, most of the tables that you can find are normally very focused on the country you live in. So if you are struggling with that, get in touch and I can help look for one that is more local to you, that contains local foods that would help you. Because if you get one from the UK, for example, you'll see things on there you might not even know what they are. And likewise, I was coaching a lady from the Philippines, and I looked for the glycemic index chart from the UK. I sent it to her, and I didn't actually really think about this at the time. She didn't understand what half the foods were. So then I went for a local one for the Philippines, and I couldn't tell you what half the stuff was on there. However, by giving that to her, that allowed her to achieve her goals. So if you are one of the international clients, then either have a little Google Images is normally a good one, and look for glycemic index chart from the country you're from, or reach out to me and I'll help you look for that. And lastly, so introducing meal prepping. So strangely, actually, most of my clients just now are not meal prepping. I've made a couple of videos recently on YouTube that show you how you can meal prep chicken, mince. I've got quite a few that I'm going to make throughout the week, or throughout the next few weeks. Also, if you can get in touch, I can give you some text recipes or things that would help you. And I'll have a book out launch soon that will have a lot of recipes in it. Meal prepping is something that is going to help you speed up your results, because you're going to have consistent meals that you've pre-made out of single ingredients. They're all the healthy stuff. They're easy to track because you've made them. You know exactly what's in them. You're also having similar meals day in, day out. You can obviously put different seasoning, different sauces. You can make them all slightly different, but and you can also make a lot of variety with mince or chicken and things if you're smart and experienced in doing that. But the meal prepping is a massive key to success when it comes to athletic performance, achieving your body composition goals. But the other thing as well for you, for the busier people, it saves. I mean, I can cook my whole week's meals in less than an hour, like 40 minutes. If you're looking at cooking, prepping, everything else, you maybe say an hour max. If I don't do that and I decide to cook all week, you could be half an hour every time you make a meal. And if you look at that, sometimes I'm eating sometimes 8 times a day. Okay, 2 of them at least are protein shakes, but cooking 6 times a day, I don't have 3 hours spare to be cooking all the time. So I do it sometimes, but really I try and focus mostly on the meal prepping. So again, these are just a little bit of guidance which will help you. The coaching is about you and what you find best for your lifestyle. So you do whatever you think is best for you. I can only advise you what I think is the best options. And if you feel you want some help or guidance on making the correct decisions on them, just reach out and give me a shout. I know for some people it's just not possible if you're not working at home, you don't have a fridge to store them in, and things. It's not always the best option. If you work offshore, it's not possible like some of you do. If you're working in your van, working and living in your van like Liam is just now, again, not possible. So it is for me the best option, but again, it comes down to the individual. So I'm just I've been through half the check-ins today, and I will get in touch with each and every one of you individually. Some of you I will do tomorrow because I've changed some of the check-ins to Monday through individuals' requests. But yeah, from what I have seen today of the check-ins, I have checked much the same. So just continue doing what you are doing, the progress you're making. Even some people, a couple of pounds a week and things like that, fat loss is still great. A couple of pounds a week fat loss over a year means you would be probably anorexic. So that's not going to be the case for the whole year. So yeah, keep up, and I hope this has been helpful for you. I won't be obviously sending you these every week unless I think it's necessary, but I did find this week there was a lot of the same learnings. So rather than making the same video 20 times, I thought it'd be better just to capture all in one go. So, okay, right, good night, and we'll speak soon with the personalised check-ins. Thank you.